wild boars, the silent but deadly destroyers of farmlands. When night falls, they sneak into gardens and fields, trampling crops, tearing through barns, and leaving farmers in despair. And when the destruction crosses the line of tolerance, a new mission is triggered. Hunt them down to protect the farms. This is no longer just a hunt, it's a battle between man and the wild. Will the beasts surrender this time? Or will they once again become the nightmare that haunts local farmers? Join us in today's relentless pursuit. At first light, we begin our slow advance into the deep forest, a known trail often used by the notorious boar herd. Our weapons are locked and loaded, GPS in hand. Hunting dogs alert. Every step is measured. Every sound is a potential threat in the heavy silence. Suddenly, a dark silhouette emerges from a thicket. It seems unaware of the danger lurking behind. I pivot instinctively, raise my rifle, steady my grip, and pull the trigger. A sharp crack pierces the forest. The shot lands. The boar stumbles a few steps and collapses under the damp canopy. Tension falls over the woods like a curtain. We move deeper into the jungle, where sunlight barely filters through the leaves. Out of nowhere, a massive beast explodes from the brush, its hulking body slicing through the trees like a bolt of fury. No hesitation. I aim fast through the canopy and fire. The shot lands. The beast crashes to the ground, sliding across fallen leaves before coming to a halt. Just when we thought the fight was over, barely 10 minutes later, two muscular boars burst from the brush, charging straight toward me. I stay calm, raise my rifle, steady my breathing. One shot, then another. Both bullets find their mark. The wild pigs collapse into the forest floor, powerless to resist. Suddenly, I receive a call from the team. Fresh boar activity has been spotted out in the open field ahead. No time to waste. I break away from the canopy, sprint toward the clearing. Everything's ready. The chase is back on. From a distance, a dark figure sprints right into my line of sight. A fully grown wild boar, massive and aggressive. Without a second thought, I lift the rifle, hold my stance, and fire. The sharp crack of the shot echoes across the empty field. The boar jerks and drops, lifeless on the damp earth. The gunshot sends a shockwave through the field. From the distant thickets, an entire herd bursts out, running in every direction, panicked and desperate to escape. I adjust quickly, locked onto a fast runner ahead. Fire. Another clean shot. The target falls. The rest scatter wildly across the plains. I immediately give chase in the direction the herd fled. Just 2 minutes later, a massive boar cuts across my flank, charging blindly for an escape. I spin, raise the rifle, and fire. The boar crashes into green grass, thrashing briefly before going still. At that very moment, on the opposite side of the field, my teammate is already in position. He spots a gigantic boar barreling through the tall grass. He locks in and fires. The bullet hits clean. The beast stumbles, then collapses on the spot. One precise shot, a clean finish. This hunting mission ends with moments of heart-pounding tension and thrilling confrontations. From tangled forest trails to wide-open fields, every shot fired was more than just skill, it was a responsibility, a duty to protect the land from destructive invaders. All operations in this hunt followed strict legal regulations for managing invasive species and ensuring safety for both people and the environment. They're not the silent lurkers in the shadows. Wild boars, ferocious beasts, are storming closer to human habitats, tearing through fields, destroying property, and threatening the safety of livestock and people alike. Against this backdrop, hunting trips are no longer just thrills or daring adventures. They're a vital stand to restore balance between humanity and nature. So, how will this relentless chase between man and these savage creatures end? Join us to witness the heart-pounding, high-stakes journey in today's gripping video. This trip plunged us into the rugged hills of America, a hotspot where wild boars roam rampant, wreaking havoc on local farmers' livelihoods. Armed to the teeth with rifles, camouflage gear, and GPS trackers, our crew dove deep into the forest, kicking off a thrilling hunt amidst untamed wilderness. Tiptoeing across the barren hillside, a sudden rustle from the brush ahead snapped me to attention. My gut screamed that the prey was lurking there. I steadied myself, raised my rifle, and tracked every flicker of movement. Seconds later, a dark mass exploded from the thicket like a bolt of lightning. Instinct kicked in, I squeezed the trigger. The gunshot shattered the eerie silence. The bullet flew true, striking its mark. The beast tumbled, rolling a few times before lying still on the cold ground. Venturing deeper into the desolate heart of the barren hill, I suddenly spotted another beast slinking through the brittle underbrush. Not letting the chance slip away, I swiftly took position, steadied my rifle, and locked onto the target. A single, precise shot rang out, the bullet slicing through the air and striking the prey's head dead on. It collapsed instantly, no chance to resist, the hunt over in mere seconds. My gunshot seemed to jolt the entire hillside awake. Just minutes later, a full-grown wild boar burst through a narrow rocky crevice. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the shot tore through the stillness, hitting the beast square in the shoulder. It stumbled, lost its momentum, and crashed to the ground. The hunt on the hill ended with hard-earned trophies claimed from the wild. Stepping away from the rugged hills, join us as we shift to a thrilling night hunt across the vast plains of America. Fully equipped with weapons, binoculars, and GPS, we're primed for a new, heart-pounding challenge under the stars. Rolling through the night in our pickup truck, the engine's roar echoed through the eerie silence, sending a chill through every breath. Spotting a target ahead, we swiftly closed in. Leaping from the truck, I raised my rifle and locked onto the prey. A clean shot rang out. The target dropped in an instant, utterly still. My gunshot sent the surrounding prey into a frenzy. From the shadowy brush, a beast bolted past mere inches from me, spiking the tension to a fever pitch. Determined not to let it escape, I gave chase and fired. The crack of the shot reverberated through the dark, shattering the night silence. The wild boar struck hard, crashed to the ground, skidding across the dew-soaked grass before lying completely still. This hunting trip drew to a close after hours of intense stalking and pinpoint-accurate takedowns in the untamed wilds of America. Every action was carried out in strict compliance with local hunting regulations in permitted areas. wild boars, creatures once thought to lurk only in deep forests, have now invaded the plains, causing unimaginable damage. They not only destroy crops, but also leave villagers living in fear as night falls. Faced with this crisis, what will farmers and hunters do to reclaim peace? Join us in a heart-pounding pursuit where the line between man and beast is drawn by a single gunshot. First, join us as we step into the chilly night of rural America, where giant wild boars exploit the cover of darkness to ravage fields and livestock pens. Guns, thermal binoculars, infrared lights. Everything has been meticulously prepared for a heart-pounding hunt under the moonlight. We drove for about an hour to reach the hunting area. The silence was eerie and unsettling. From a distance, a herd of beasts was quietly tearing through a cornfield. I quickly raised my rifle, locked onto the target, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the night's silence. One boar was hit and collapsed to the ground. The rest scattered in panic, fleeing in all directions. Not missing the opportunity, we decided to track down the surviving boars. A target was spotted. Swiftly raising my rifle, I pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the bullet echoed through the silent night. One beast collapsed, motionless on the cold grass. The night hunt concluded with victory for the seasoned hunters. After a tense night, the first light of dawn dispelled the darkness. Seizing the moment, we swiftly moved up the mountain for a daytime hunt, where the prey roams actively under the radiant sunlight. Join us as we continue this thrilling pursuit of the beasts. Silently weaving through dense bushes, a dark shadow suddenly darted out in front of me. Reacting in a split second, I raised my rifle and fired. The blast echoed through the mountains and forest. The beast struck squarely in its midsection. It collapsed onto the dry ground, thrashing briefly before gradually losing its ability to resist. The gunshot shattered the silence, sending the surrounding wild boars into chaos. The frantic barking of hunting dogs signaled the presence of other prey. As expected, a group of wild boars was hiding, hoping to evade my rifle. Without hesitation, I swiftly raised my gun and locked on the target. A clean shot rang out, and the lead boar was hit, collapsing in the middle of the forest without making a sound. As we descended the mountain, we encountered stray boars from the herd busily foraging. Aiming from a distance, I fired a single shot at the target. It collapsed and lay still instantly. The remaining boar fled in panic, leaving behind an eerily silent scene. The daytime hunt concluded with the giant beast herd as they defeated. Today's journey of night and day hunting has come to a close. From the silent darkness to the radiant daylight, each moment brought its own challenges. But with seamless coordination and precise shots, we emerged victorious. Everything was conducted in legal areas and in compliance with regulations. From the depths of the forest to the doorstep of homes, giant wild boars are becoming increasingly aggressive and audacious. They swarm into residential areas, ravaging crops, attacking livestock, and even threatening human lives. Facing this lurking danger, seasoned hunters are always ready to venture into perilous territory to restore peace to the countryside. But this is no easy hunt. Wild boars are not only powerful, but also cunning beyond expectation. This time, who will fall? Follow the heart-pounding pursuit in our video today, where every step could be a fight for survival. First, join us in the snow-covered hills of the American West, a place of harsh weather, treacherous terrain, and massive, ferocious wild boars lurking beneath thick layers of snow. Today's hunt has been meticulously prepared. Rifles, thermal binoculars, flashlights, cold-resistant clothing, and enough supplies for hours of enduring the bone-chilling cold. After about 20 minutes of trekking across the mountainside, we suddenly encountered a herd of wild boars darting through the barren trees. I swiftly raised my rifle, locking my sights on one of the boars. The shot hit its mark, and the target collapsed to the ground. Seizing the moment, I quickly fired again. The second bullet flew true, striking another boar in the side, dropping it instantly lifeless and unable to fight back. At the same moment on the adjacent hillside, my teammate was tracking a boar struggling through the thick snow. A sharp crack echoed as the shot hit its mark, sending the boar tumbling down the slope. The air fell eerily silent. Victory on the snowy hills belonged to the skilled hunter. Leaving the snow-covered mountains behind, join us on a journey to the southern United States, the dense oak forests of Texas, where wild boars gather in herds notorious for their ferocity and unpredictability. Before entering the forest, we double-check our gear. Hunting rifles, binoculars, daggers, walkie-talkies, and backup camping equipment. Everything is ready. A new terrain, a new challenge, and the hunt begins anew. Venturing into the dry Texas forest, we suddenly spotted a wild boar charging through a cluster of decayed trees. I raised my rifle and fired, but the first shot only grazed it. Not letting the chance slip, I swiftly repositioned, cutting off the boar's path. The second shot rang out, striking true into its flank. The beast collapsed, completely subdued. Continuing to track other prey, I quickly noticed a lone boar ahead. I raised my rifle, squeezed the trigger, and the bullet flew, hitting the target dead on. The boar crashed to the ground, utterly drained of strength to resist. From a clearing in the distance, I spotted another wild boar foraging for food. I instantly raised my rifle, and the bullet shot out with blazing speed, embedding itself into the beast's body. It leaped off the ground, tumbled a few times, then collapsed amid the dry leaves, silence before it could make a sound. Another target taken down. Not stopping there, after moving for about 10 minutes, amid the golden grass, a dark shadow silently emerged from the edge of the forest, seemingly scouting for food. I quietly raised my rifle, adjusted my aim, and fired. The sharp crack of the shot echoed as the bullet tore through the air, striking the beast's head. It froze, then collapsed onto the bed of decayed leaves. The hunt concluded, and once again, victory did not belong to the wild. The pursuit of these formidable creatures ended with precise, thrilling shots. Seasoned hunters showcased their prowess against the stubborn evasion of the boar herd. The entire expedition strictly adhered to legal hunting regulations in permitted areas.
Kayo.